The theories and ideas shared in this episode are based on publicly available information and are for the purpose of creative thought and entertainment. The topics we discuss are our own opinions and purely speculative. Our aim is to explore claims made by prominent individuals, verify them best as we can, and discuss their potential reality. We're just two regular dudes who are fascinated by this phenomena. Enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to the Rusty Saucer Podcast. It's been a little while. We've just had some technical difficulties here, trying to get some things figured out with the recording software, figuring out schedules and all that. But Andrew, are you ready to get back into this thing?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? There's always technical difficulties, so we have a high learning curve that we're overcoming, but we got it.
Yeah, we do. We got this. Well, today we're going to talk about, or we're just going to kind of look at a compilation of presidents and their comments on UFOs. And yeah, so Andrew, I don't think has seen this video.
Nope.
Yeah, so he'll be seeing this for the first time. These were some that I found on X, Twitter. So we can put those links down in the description for everybody to find the individual clips, but we're going to watch them all combined together and then kind of comment on what each president said.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Andrew, are you ready to get into these clips?
Yeah, let's check them out.
All righty, let's do it. All right, guys, so before we start this video, I'm just going to let everybody know which presidents will be involved. There probably are other clips of presidents commenting on UFOs. These were just what I was able to find searching through X and YouTube. So, yeah, this video will include Harry Truman, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, and recently Donald Trump. So these are all former presidents, and the reason I kind of chose this, and Andrew and I have been kind of talking about this topic a little bit, is do presidents get briefed on UFOs? And it's just kind of interesting to what point, they seem to know about the topic and how interested they were in it coming into office. So just kind of wanted to touch upon that, and since there's an election coming up, maybe they'll get briefed more, and we'll learn more about this topic. There will be another hearing in November in Congress, so maybe we're closer and closer to a president announcing something big about UFOs. So, are you ready to get into this, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Some of this I might have heard in the past, but yeah, let's check it out.
All righty, let's get to it.
Did the Joint Chiefs of Staff talk to you or concern you about the unknown and the unidentified flying object?
Oh, yes, we discussed it at every conference that we had with the military, and they never were able to make me a concrete report on.
Do you have anything on the subject, sir?
No, I haven't anything on the subject, and there's always things like that going on. Flying saucers, and they've had other things,
Gathered in a schoolyard with about 20 other men, and we saw a bright light appear in the distant western skies, and it got closer and closer, and when it was just above the treetops, it changed color, and then it stayed there for a while, and then it disappeared into the distance. And none of us could ever imagine what it was, and I still don't know what it was.
In 76, you said you'd try and release all information to the public and to scientists about other UFO sightings.
Yes.
Do you think you achieved that?
I'm not sure, but we did release a lot of the information, but I don't know how much was not released.
So this is something I feel like, if I was the president, and it's unlikely that that is ever going to happen.
You never know.
If I was the president...
It was unlikely that I was going to be president.
The moment I was inaugurated, my hand it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and the UFOs, and I'd go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do.
It's at the
The
top of
aliens
my
won't
list.
let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in, and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, that's what we're instructed to say.
All right.
All this talk about dem aliens with the what are they, UAFs or whatever they call them, all the footage and everyone talking about it. It's like, what is your, I know that doesn't necessarily mean aliens, it is just a UAF, but I was wondering if you have a theory about that.
Well, when it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
But you'll tell us off air? Great.
No, look. The truth is that when I came into office, I asked, right? I was like, all right, is there the lab somewhere where we're keeping the alien specimens in spaceship? They did a little bit of research, and the answer was no. But what is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is. But I have nothing to report to you today.
It's okay.
Unless, that. See, here's the question. Reggie might secretly be an alien, right? You remember in Men in Black? And so when he asks all these questions, he's deflecting.
Did you ever ask for information? They said, we can't tell you.
No, but I will tell you that there were times where I asked for information and then it came slower than I wanted.
Did you ever, when you get in there, just say, get me the Declaration of Independence, some lemon juice, and a blow dryer? We're going to Nicolas Cage this boy. We're going to find a treasure map on the back.
There are times where prying information out of the bowels of an agency can be challenging.
UFOs? Any UFOs? Did you ask about that?
Certainly asked about it.
And?
Can't tell you. Sorry.
Okay. All right, I'll take that as a yes. Because if there were none, you'd say there was none, right? You just played your hand. I thought you were a poker player. You just 100% showed your river card.
Feel free to think that.
I do. That's so much. That makes me happy to think that you won't tell me about UFOs.
Can I say it used to be that UFOs was what is it, Roswell was the biggest conspiracy? Yeah. And now that seems so tame. Right?
Right.
The idea that the government might have an alien spaceship. That's
now
nothing.
The biggest conspiracy is people in Michigan vote. Let's take another quick break.
In here. Are there aliens at Area 51?
I'll tell you, it's a funny thing because I think that might be a question that I get more than any question. It is the craziest thing. So we have that so-called area. They consider it like a sacred area. Mm-hmm. And I will say this. I don't think I'm a believer, but I've interviewed pilots that look, I like Tom Cruise, but better than Tom Cruise. the blonde crew cuts, the whole, and this, yes, sir. And they were in the Oval Office, 3 or 4 pilots. These are not people that make up stories. These are. They said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it wasn't, it shouldn't have been. It was round, sir. They have seen, 4 or 5 guys I've interviewed, solid people, great pilots for the U.S. Air Force, etc. They've seen things that they cannot explain.
Follow-up
So there's
question.
something.
Also a maybe. I think
Follow-up question, Mr.
Maybe.
President. Follow-up. If in fact there are aliens, would you be willing to put tariffs on them to help us with
Yes.
the economy? They're not just going to fly down.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
So what did you think of that, Andrew?
That was pretty good. Some of it I had heard before, but yeah, I hate to say it, but of all the people, I think Trump sounded like the most honest. You know, maybe they didn't tell him, but he talked to people that had seen stuff that
Yeah.
everybody else. Barack, I felt like was being a little coy, just like trying to play it up a little bit, being like, I can tell you, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
The thing,
he joked a lot. There was a lot of jokes with the Barack stuff.
yeah,
Go on.
the thing
What
at
were
the
you saying?
end with Reagan was, there's a book I read by Ernest Cline called Armada, and it's all about the government knows there's aliens, so they're training people around the world with these video games. And yeah, once the aliens come, it's like every nation on Earth just unites. It's not, they everybody recognizes like, oh, we've got to do something about this. Like, put our petty differences to the side. So it's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, I've read books like that.
So did Reagan get that quote or that saying from a book? I don't really know the background of that speech. I thought it was just kind of interesting. I've seen that floating around for a little while. Is that kind of what you were saying? Is it
No, this book probably came out in like 2000. So yeah, they might have gotten the idea from him.
Got it. Yeah, I thought that was a good piece to put there at the very end. I kind of wanted to go in order of presidents, but that one, it would have kind of been weird to just keep that in the middle. It was kind of a nice little closer of what an interesting thing to say.
It does.
Yeah.
It does make you think, like, does he know something he's not revealing? Like if I just told y'all what was really going on, everybody would just stop this, this country versus that country crap.
Right. Yeah, just to say it like that, I often wonder if there was an alien invasion, if we could all come together. Because back when that was said, it was such a stigma to say something like that, and he said it with seriousness. I'm not saying he was serious. I'm just kind of reflecting on it and just being like, that's kind of it's just kind of one of those, it kind of makes you stop for a second and just kind of be like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, for
Or at
sure.
least it did for me.
And by the way, that book is called Armada by Ernest Cline.
Okay.
Same guy that did Ready Player One. So Armada,
okay.
Ernest Cline. If anybody's interested, good book.
Well, yeah. That sound interesting.
But yeah, no. The other thing was them talking with Donald, or excuse me, with Obama. What do you? I kind of feel like he does know more than he's letting on. Like, I get that vibe that he does know something, whether there's no aliens or there is evidence. I still get the vibe that's like he's like, I know, but I ain't gonna tell you. So
yeah, there was it was interesting with him because the first couple of clips we saw, he was making jokes, but he was also saying, look, in all seriousness, there are things that we cannot explain that move in ways that are not easily explained. Like easily explained patterns is the word he used. And whenever he said that, I thought of propulsion systems. And I really wish that he had expanded on what he meant by patterns.
Yeah.
Because if he had said propulsion systems, that would have been it would be close to a smoking gun of some of these things that we've talked about, some of these people that we've done deep dives on, that we've watched clips of, that it's all about the propulsion systems not matching our understanding of science. The G-forces, the speeds, stuff like that. So I really I wish that was asked more, and I wish that these weren't all jokes about, oh, he's an alien, that person's an alien, we, this, that, and the other, because it has become a serious topic where, former military people are testifying in Congress to get them to investigate in this. So
Right.
It just, to me, whenever you do that, when you call for an investigation and you whistleblow that there is unethical behavior around this topic in the U.S. government, I kind of want to see real answers, about a lot of this stuff.
Well, yeah, we'd all love that. The other
Mhm.
thing, it was interesting is how I forget the guy's name in the band. I think it's Reggie something, but he was saying, "Oh, UAFs, UAFs," and that was the
Oh,
first time I
okay.
heard
Are you talking
UAF.
about in that Saturday Night Live clip? I think it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it looked like it was like a talk show, and they were talking to the band, so it'd be like
Yeah,
this
it
night
may
show
not
where
have
the guy.
been Saturday Night Live. I don't know, but yeah, it was kind of one of those late night shows or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I had never heard UAF before. I've heard UAP, of
I
course,
think he
but
was
not
trying to
UAF.
say UAP and he
Mm,
was just saying UAF, and so, but I don't know. I have not heard that term and kind of look at this topic quite a bit, but
yeah, okay. I
I
just making
haven't
sure
come
it wasn't
across
me.
that term. No, I have not
Okay.
come across that term. Um, but yeah, it's interesting how expand a little bit more on why you thought that Trump may have been honest with how he said
Well,
his
it's just because
interaction.
we've heard it from pilots, like Fravor,
Right.
and that they saw things they can't explain, and so that sounds like the same information Trump had.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff out there that we cannot explain what it's doing. He never said it was a UFO. He never said it was that. But this or that. But he just basically said, "Yeah, I've talked to people who've seen stuff."
Yeah.
That's almost at the same breath. It's almost like Grush, who's like, "I've seen documents and I've talked to people
Right.
that are things I can't explain." Now, Grush, of course, goes way more in debt
He
about what
does.
he's read and all that. But
And
yeah,
he says he
so it
believes
just
it. Trump did say
right,
he doesn't really believe in all of it. But he's had,
right,
testimonials from pilots coming into him and saying, "Yeah, sir, we have chased these what did he say? Round objects going
right,
4 times our
right.
speed."
So that's why Trump's interview kind of spoke to me a little bit more because it's like it's on the same page as what we've looked into, you know.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But I do have a feeling, Trump's kind of boisterous and loud. I do have a feeling if he saw some factual information, that he would give it away. Like, it'd be easy to tell if he was trying to be deceptive about that. I feel like personally.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way, that if there were aliens once Trump got into the office, it was going to get exposed. Um I don't know. See, so there's a part of me that I don't know if he's really even that interested in the topic. Um
True.
he kind of just talks about it when other people ask him about it. He doesn't really ever go out of his way to be like, yeah, this is something that I was really interested in. The first thing that I did when I got into office was do this. And some of these other presidents, they said that that was like one of the first things that they did. And,
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Um,
Well, you could probably imagine, and most people would probably agree. Even if you got elected for president, then they asked you, first, like, I don't know, 10, 20 things you want to do, or things you
right.
want to learn. I think most people would be tempted to say, "Oh, is there any truth to all these, paranormal encounters, or extraterrestrials, and
Yeah.
what's going on there?" But I think it all boils down to what we were talking about in a different episode. It's like a president's just there for short term. So they're not going to tell the president all these big secrets, knowing that the
Right.
next one's going to come along. So I really think there's some truth to that. Like if that information is out there, I think like CIA or FBI or some other organization knows about
Right.
it, but they're not going to brief the president.
Yeah. Yeah. For long-term leader or long-term officials.
Yeah,
But that
exactly.
that is what's really interesting too, just the whole idea of having a president, and if they are short term, what do they get briefed on, Like, to what extent do they actually get briefed on? Because Because like you said, if they're short term, they're not going to be in office forever. The max I think is 2 terms. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is interesting. Was there anything that was said that you were surprised about, like that kind of made you think, like going like, oh, I wasn't actually expecting him to say that, from any of these clips?
No, I'd seen a couple of them before, and if at least it seemed like some of them were interested and that's what they wanted. So that was a little bit
Right.
surprising, was knowing that some of them did ask that question really early
Mhm.
on, you know. But yeah, I had seen some of Barack's clips about that before, so I kind of had an idea of what he was going to say. But I mean, he still kind of listened and took it seriously, and even though he said I can't tell you anything, it still seemed like he was willing to listen, and he didn't shut people down. None of them just said, "Oh, I'm shutting this down. Like, there's nothing there. Don't worry about it." So
Right.
that would
Yeah.
be interesting on its own. That they didn't they weren't trying to do the classic thing of, "Oh no, that's crazy," or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is interesting. There is a little bit more of a backstory to the Bill Clinton story, how he was saying that Bill Clinton looked into this. It's kind of interesting. I could not find specific clips on that. I kind of wish that I was able to, because I read on it and kind of read what he had said. So
mhm.
it is interesting. He did go and look for he looked into Area 51 and he had a big investigation into it. And from what we're told, he said that he didn't find anything. But it is just interesting that some of these presidents that do get into office, that is some of the first things that they do. They do look into these things, and sometimes their investigations do come back, with more questions than answers. It kind of felt like that. Obama did have some moments where it was like, hey, can't talk about that. And then just completely stiff armed the guy. Like it wasn't like just joking, like, haha, I can't talk about that. It was like, no, I can't get into it. Sorry. Can we move on?
Yeah,
Like it kind of seemed like
yeah.
that kind of tone, like I'm not going to expand on this. I'm just going to assume that you get what I'm putting out there of next topic.
Yeah, it's end of story. Yeah. The big question I'd have too is, did Trump talk to the same pilots and same people as we
Yes.
know about, or how many
Yeah.
has he talked to?
Fravor,
That's another big question.
Graves,
Yeah.
people
Right.
like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Um, yeah, he sure dissed old Tom Cruise though.
Yeah, oh, that was funny. Yes, yes, I've talked to more handsome people than Tom Cruise. Like, what? Was that really necessary, Mr. Trump? Like, okay. Why is their beauty have anything to do with their credibility?
Oh
Like,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though. Tom Cruise, he is a badass. Like that he does a lot of his stunts, like all those
Yes.
stunts that he
Yeah.
does. He goes to the extreme of doing that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Well, there's also I saw this article on the internet where it showed a picture of his co-actress in the first Top Gun. I
Hmm.
don't remember her name off the top of my head. And then it showed them what they looked like during the filming, and then it showed both of them like in modern day today.
Uh-huh.
And Tom Cruise looks like he's aged 5 years, and she looks like she's 40 years older.
I think I
Which
saw
she
that
probably is.
too. Yeah. I
Yeah, it's
think I saw that
amazing.
one too. It's
Yeah, maybe
wild.
Scientology has the answers, Ross. That's what I mean.
Maybe they have the aliens. Maybe that's where the
Yeah.
reptilians are.
Well, actually, if you read into the religion, they do kind of believe we're alien spirits and stuff. Yeah, it's their religion gets a little crazy, but sorry, any Scientologists, if you're watching this, you've been deprogrammed anyway, so you probably wouldn't be watching this. But
Oh my gosh. That would be something to look into. It's kind of interesting just to kind of
yeah, it's
read up
what's
on it.
funny is the South Park episode that explains Scientology is so true. Like it is, they did their research. It's very factual. So you think
Dude,
this
that's
cartoon
all of South
is going to
Park.
be
South Park
goofy?
does a great
Yeah,
job of that kind of stuff. Like,
right. The first 3 seasons, skip those, because they're kind of immature and adolescent. But after that, they found their niche, and it's great.
Easy there, Boomer. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, the first 3 seasons are in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining us today. I hope that you guys found the clip interesting and our commentary. We just have a lot of fun talking about this stuff. We're trying to do as much research as we can here and there, and just be like, okay, what are they trying to say here, and what's going on in the UFO community? So, and like I said earlier, I do kind of have a feeling, and I think Andrew shares this with me, that more information is coming out soon. I don't know how soon, but it just feels like that there's more stuff coming out, and that maybe, just maybe, whoever is elected this next cycle will be giving a briefing on UFOs. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be really cool.
Yep.
Or if we could get in that skiff with Grush.
Yes, yes. We definitely need to do that. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please throw a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. It really does help. We're also available on Spotify. You can follow us on X as well. We do have an Instagram. We don't post as much on Instagram, but still come in, give us a follow. It really does help. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. Hopefully we're going to get back on track here and start pumping out more videos now that we've got our schedules kind of figured out and this software under control. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. All the views we get. Anybody who's watching, like Ross said, recommend it to a friend, like, subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. It's a ton of fun doing this.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess that means the Rusty Saucer Pod is out.
Rusty Saucer, out.
Out.